Yeah. What's up, guys and gals? Happy start of the week. It's gonna be Monday, March 31st. A lot of baseball. This is an amount of baseball I'm not typically used to on Mondays. A lot of it spread out too. We got a beefy main slate for sure. But there's some stuff all day to sweat. If you want to put some lottery tickets out there, I'm going to do my best. Kind of take a peek at everything. Make sure. See, I like these songs more than the other crap that was giving me. But I don't want to get muted. But I kind of hate talking. This is going to be a long one. I don't know. I'll see if I can get away with it. Uh-oh. I just hit the camera, didn't I? Ugh. My bad. That's a weird face to get frozen. 1 second, chat. Ugh. Awkward. Yeah. We back. My big old ogre foot hit the cord, made it freeze. What up, Pinstripe? Oh, I just got in from Austin, so I didn't have time to go through each pitcher's spring training game log. So I'm actually gonna do that as I go through game by game. What up, Harry Potter? What up, Most Wanted? What are my thoughts on the torpedo bats? They've been in the league for a while. It just randomly started going viral. And the Yankees aren't the only one that use. The Yankees are getting credit for being innovative, I guess, and hiring the MIT blah 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 blah. Which I think that guy works for the Marlins. But the Yankees are basically the poster boy because people are looking for, you know, pointing and screaming about cheating. But there's plenty of players in the league that have tried the torpedo bats, didn't like the torpedo bats, or did. I think the only reason that this is even a story is because the Yankees had a crazy offensive, and most of the Yankees don't even use it. It's like Jazz and Volpe that use it, and I think it's kind of just something where people are looking to find a reason that the Yankees are scoring all these runs. I think Aaron Judge needs a wiffle ball bat. No. But I do think it is going to be something that the MLB is going to have to make a decision on. But they kind of already did. I mean, they explicitly state in their rules the maximum diameter of a bat, the maximum weight of a bat, the length, stuff like that. And all that was like compliant with the rules. So either MLB is going to have to say, all right, let's tighten that up, or everyone can use it. But yeah, the Yankees aren't the only one that do have some, not the only ones that have ever tried some. There's plenty of players throughout the league that have tried it or use it. I think Yankees, yes, the Yankees been going off. What up, Unique? Yankees have been going off. We'll see if they can continue their firepower. They're on the road today. I left my Ghost in the freezer too long. It's kind of a slushy. It's not the worst. But whatever. Anyway, a lot of baseball today, so let's get cracked open. I'm gonna make some live worksheet notes and kind of see what we can't figure out about this slate. So saw the clickbait illegal bats. They openly use them. Of course they were illegal. Yeah. And slowly other players, like people are saying, hey, wait, this guy, I think somebody said Nico Horner uses it. And the Cubs, I think, tried it in spring trade. Like, there's other organizations. Like, this is not some secret. It's just like randomly going viral. I think it basically is going viral because Volpe happened to homer right as Michael K was talking about the bat. And then John Boy Media like put it out there, and then people just like grabbed onto it and flew away with it. But the majority of the Yankee hitters don't use it, and other teams in the league do use it. So maybe it should be a thing that they investigate and make a decision on, for sure. But it's kind of crazy that the Yankees are like the poster child for it when it's just a thing. Brewers went on to win division by 10 that year. Yeah, I mean, the NL Central is very, very winnable. You can't overreact or underreact. All right, you can underreact. What do they say? You can't win the World Series in April, but you can miss the playoffs. Well, I'll move the questions. No, it's okay. All right, let's do some swimming. Twins at the White Sox. Chris Paddock taking on Martin Perez. So let's go look at pitch counts in spring. Lately, I've been just going ahead and preloading this, but man, I went to Austin. I just got back and I ran out of time, so I figured two birds, one stone. Let's just type it while we're live, right? Looks like Paddock has 5 games. 17.2 innings in spring, 21 strikeouts. So we like to see a strikeout per or plus, a 119 whip, and 4 homers allowed. That's a little problematic. Looks like 2 were in the first game and then 1-0-1 the last game. So 84 pitches on 320. So that's what we want. Paddock threw 84 pitches, 320, 17.2 innings, 21 Ks. It's a good sign for him. His 20% K rate. On the other side, Martin Perez is gonna jack up the spreadsheet, isn't he? I feel like he shouldn't be jacking up the spreadsheet because I thought I went through all this. Nope, I did not. All right. No matches found. That doesn't make sense to me. Control F, Martin Perez. Just says Martin Perez. It should be working. Huh. Alright. If that doesn't work, let's check the sample size. Maybe it's less than 10 innings. Now I'm just kind of triggered. Anyway, Martin Perez in spring training. 14 innings pitched, 13 strikeouts. He's long been a contact lefty with a high ground ball rate. That's kind of what we saw in spring training. Yeah, nothing remarkable here. What's the highest pitch count we saw? 67 pitches on 315. 7 pitches on 315. Contact lefty, elevated ground ball rate. So this game is not on the super main slate. It is earlier in the day. Looking at a 8.5 run total in Chicago. I think I lean more into pitching some Paddock here if I have to play that early one. So I'll go interest rating Chris Paddock just because this White Sox team is kind of rough and a juicy strikeout matchup. I'll say at least one of their players strikes out less than 22%. Everyone else, a lot of potential strikeouts. The other thing is Chris Paddack used to be pretty isolated on a few pitches. It looks like fastball, changeup are his top two. His curveball and changeup last year had a negative rating. That might be a little sneaky problem. But I lean Paddack if I got to go somewhere. And then Martin Perez. His ground ball rate might stifle a lot of stacks, but he's certainly not the young whippersnapper here. So if he is going to dare some of these power bats, Buxton, Jeffers, Ty France, to put the ball in play, I want some Twins. So give me Paddack, give me Twins. Paddack has had a home run bug, especially the lefties. White Sox don't really have a lot of representative lefty power. Benintendi did homer opening day. Technically a 188 ISO against righties since the beginning of last year. Maybe he's somebody you look at, but for the most part, I go pretty simply onto Paddack, onto Twins. Not really interested in Martin Perez for ceiling purposes. Yeah. What up, Thomas? Hope you're doing all right. What up, Conscious? Why haven't you seen me in my feed? So if you don't use your YouTube channel for a couple of years, it just like disappears from the algorithm. And I think it was like 2 years for me. And then I also renamed the channel. That way it would stick out a little bit more for people actually searching for baseball stuff. Yeah. Yeah. Chris Bubich taking on Brian Hudson. Royals and Brewers. Let's go. Check out there. Wait, I got Elvin Rodriguez. Alright, I might have pulled these too early, I guess. Anybody else seen a starter for this game? 12 strikeouts, 9.2 innings for Elvin. 3 homers. Elvin Rodriguez. Was this the kid that was on the Pirates that the Yankees shellacked? No. This kid was on the Tigers. Maybe it was the Tigers I'm thinking of. And the Yankees, he was tipping pitches. All right. That doesn't matter. I just had a moment. All right, I'm going to asterisk this because I'm not 100% sure who is the starting pitcher here for the Brew Crew. But if it is Elvin, unremarkable overall metrics here. 3 homers and 9.2 innings. Not what you want. The 197 whip, not what you want. Decent strikeout stuff, but don't really see a real reason to get there for that. So give me some Royals. Royals are a team that I think are so fun balanced that that when you get them out of Kaufman, I like them even more. And you put them in a American Family Field, aka Miller Park. This is a good spot for them. The Brewers are limping back from New York, where starting pitching sucked, relieving pitching sucked. Their best pitcher right now, maybe unironically, is Jake Bowers, who might be their best hitter. So, good spot to maybe keep kicking a mother down. So, give me Royals bats there at the top. Then Chris Bubich on the bump here for the Royals. Last season, a 32% K rate, but just 13.1 innings pitched, almost a 15% swing and strike rate. See what we're working with in the spring training for him. What's up, Ricky? Ricky, give him the heater. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 games in spring for him. Got up to 81 pitches, so let's notate that. 71 spring games. 81 pitches. Let's do some overalls. 17.2 innings pitched, 19 Ks. That's what you want. 17.2 IP, 19 Ks. 147 whip. That's a problem. What caused that? 6 walks. Looks like that's going to be an issue. 1 walk every game in March. Some games 2, and an average of 3 innings. So keep an eye on that. Last season he didn't really have a command issue, so I'm kind of willing to look past that. But this is a Brewers team that since the beginning of last year will take their walks against lefties. So maybe look out for that. Not a ton of implied strikeouts. Enough that I could see on that slate. You're just trying to roster some talent. Bubic probably has some strikeout potential. But I also probably have to put some Brewers into the mix here. Just getting them at home. Couple guys here we do like against lefties. Churios, I expect to continue where he left off last season. William Contreras, Yelly's good against lefties. Reese Hoskins at 232 ISO against lefties since the beginning of last year. So that's how we'll rank that. Royals, Bubic, Brewer. Let me see. Have seen different starters indicated, none of which are good. All right, if you guys are MLBgrind.com members, keep that in mind tomorrow. Got to get those half appetizers at Carl's Jr. 8 to 12 for late night munchies. I don't have a Carl's Jr. around here. The one we had closed down. It was like in a bad spot. It was next to a Hooters on the side of the highway, and it was just like hard to get to. Also, it was next to a Hooters, so if you did get to it, there's a Hooters. It's just, but the Hooters shut down too. Freaking woke mafia. Just kidding. Sean Newcomb taking on Cade Povich. Newcomb. Duke Newcomb. Let's go pull up his numbers from spring. Five games in spring, 12.1, 10 Ks. 5 games, 12.1, 10 Ks. We're dealing with a 190 average. A lot like that. Sub 0.9 whip. Like that. 0.9 whip. Those are really good numbers. Now, pitch counts, 4750. That's scary. This is a guy I imagine they're going to be easy with. So, Newcomb only threw 9 innings last year. 14 the year prior. So he might be wrapped in bubble wrap. Overall, good numbers there. Bad matchup no matter what. And likely doesn't go too deep, right? Did they set us a line for strikeouts for... I'd say what, they don't even have a starter for the Brewers here either. So Newcomb at 3.5 strikeouts. So yeah, they probably don't expect him to go long either. They don't do outs, do they? Oh, outs recorded? Barely. So the fact that they got Newcomb at 3.5, and he hasn't really pitched deep in years, and in spring training he didn't go deep. I'd probably say I'm shocked. I'd be a little surprised if he goes far past 65. I'll say not expecting more than 65 pitches personally. This is just me guessing. I'm not gonna speak on behalf of the Red Sox, but that'd be my guess, and that's gonna taper my expectations for him. 5,800 on Fanduel. Now, if he was 5,800 on DraftKings as an SP2, I'd be a little bit more interested. Although on that slate, it is what it is. But man, I don't even know that he sees the 5th inning on Fanduel. So, regardless, it's a bad matchup in terms of talent. There are some strikeouts to be had in this lineup. So keep an eye on that. Also, maybe keep an eye on the injuries for the Orioles. I think Jordan Westberg might have got injured. Or Colton Cowser. So yesterday, Jordan Westberg wasn't hurt. He was available in case of emergency. Yeah, okay. All right. Keep an eye on the injuries for the Orioles. There might be some guys that are in this projected that don't actually play tomorrow, but that'll be their home opener. I'm offense first in this one, depending on who's actually in the lineup for the Orioles. And I forgot to look up Povic's spring training campaign. 12.2 innings pitched, 14 strikeouts. That's good. 82 pitches in his last starting. 12.2 IP in spring. 14 Ks. 82 pitches last start. All that's good numbers. Matchup isn't fun for him, but this matchup has been a little bit anemic with some strikeout potential. We've seen some pitchers sneak out in that Texas series with decent days at the office. So I think on a small slate, I think I'd have to introduce Povic into the mix here, to be honest. Give me Orioles, if healthy. Man, I'm kind of leaning Povic. Give me Cade Povic, and then give me Red Sox. What's the run total for this game? 9.5. Kind of coin flippy. Orioles are minus 148. Dude, I had some honey buns from 7-Eleven. I went to go pick up some Ghost, and they sucker you with the $1 whatevers. It's like honey buns, bro. I haven't had those in forever. And them things smacked. Last couple of honey buns I've had in the past couple of years, dry. These suckers were moist. Got me wanting to go back out there, man. Keep that in mind next time I swing by. Oh, we can't get those Carl's Jr. snacks. Something to watch for on this Orioles game, by the way. They did move the left field walls forward again. I don't know all the deets, but I know that left field wall was super annoying last couple seasons. So it should play a little bit better for those righty pull hitters. Jordan Westberg, if he plays. So keep an eye on that. We'll see. We'll start notating how that plays going forward. They did. Dude, when I was a kid, man, that might be why I became such a Gordo, dude. Them 50-cent honey buns as a kid. Oh, man. Rockies at the Phillies. Herman Marquez taking on Christopher Sanchez. I couldn't get Jack Diddley Squat to populate in the sheet here, probably because we got some funky names. So let's go to Control F. Herman. Wrong Herman. And nothing comes up again. So let me see if it's a sample size issue. It is. It's 100% a sample size issue for both seasons. So Herman years back was pretty solid, but he's essentially not pitched in 2 years for what it's worth. So we'll go look at his spring training campaign. Huge cinnamon rolls. I shouldn't eat them. But man, you're already at the register you know you got the munchies. And I was like, man, I'm hungry, but am I really driving across town to go get some food? It was already kind of late, and I knew I needed to get home. I was like, dude, I bet 2 of these honey buns might make me fluffy. So I grabbed them. They were freaking delicious. I was not ready for that. 75 pitches on the 20th for Herman. 75 pitches on 3. We said 20th, right? And then in 13.2 innings pitched, 8 strikeouts. And 3 homers, all of which occurred in the last 2 games. And then the ground ball rate, he's still playing like a ground baller. The whip is insane. 183 whip in those 13 innings. A little bit of a walk problem. Essentially, he walked a hitter every game. 3 in that San Fran game. I don't want to go too bad. Like, I don't want to pick on him for too much in spring. But he certainly had a problem with traffic. 19 hits allowed in 13.2 innings. So, not much to like here for Herman Marquez against a Phillies team that is ready to break out. My goodness. Taking him out of Nats Park and seeing those lefties in the daytime shadows. And now they get Rockies in their averageness at best. And you get to put them in the Citizens Bank Park, the bandbox. So this is a park that plays really up for the offense. If you've been at the Philly slot machine first couple days of the season, I'm not getting up now. So give me some Phillies. Top of the list here. And then can we sell ourselves on pitching against the Rockies? By the way, if I sold you on the strikeout ladder prop for Taj Bradley, kind of my bad, but kind of not. He was booming. He went through six strong quality start, hooked to win, 7 strikeouts, 70 pitches. But in the top of the 6th, there was a little bit of a high stress situation, and I believe there was an error because he had 2 earnies, and that means there was an unearned run in the mix. So things kind of fell apart. And he got through the high stress inning in the top of the 6th that completed the quality start requirements. And then the bottom of the 6th, the Rays kind of went nuts and created an extended inning, so a long wait time. So I think a combination of a stressful 6th, a lead, and the long pause between going back out there, I think that was all kind of trending towards Cash not sending him back out there. So he still hit his over 6.5 if he only went after that. He still was a great fantasy play. He was pretty high owned as we kind of projected. But man, I really thought that he had all the makings of maybe a double-digit strikeout game. And I'm not really going to take the L on it because he was only at 70 pitches through 6, and he threw 101 in his last spring start. So I definitely think he had the ability to go back out there. They just didn't send him back out. What are you going to do? 14.2 innings for Sanchez, 16 strikeouts. 16 Ks. 0.89 whip and a 3 ground out to air out ratio. Think we know what pitcher I'm playing. Highest pitch count, 61. 60 pitches in his last 2 outings, basically. Last 2 appearances. So you would kind of hope that was more. It probably puts him to top out at 80 if you're lucky. But it's such a good matchup. And man, he is kind of expensive on both sides. But value is going to be super subjective on a small slate. And whether it's a 2-game early or the 4-game early, whatever the site split it up or you're trying to attack, there is a chance that Sanchez could be the highest scoring pitcher, at least one of the highest scoring 2. So he's got to kind of make the player pool, right? Not that interested in Rockies against a ground ball pitcher that can also strike you out. Phillies offense, Chris Sanchez. That's how we do that. What up, Chronic? Shadows can go for 4 innings. I have not been able to have the time to go back and check on this situation because I don't think it makes every pitcher a strikeout pitcher. But what I would want to look at is lefties with any bit of strikeout stuff in the daytime at Nats Park. Because we saw it today with was it Mitchell? We saw it yesterday with Luzardo. We saw it on opening day with Mackenzie Gore. Is there something to it? You know what I mean? Is there just something that lines up just right for a lefty with a little bit of strikeout stuff? It could be nothing. It could just be a big coincidence. And like I said, I don't think it's going to make Martin Perez or, I don't know, Jaime Garcia coming back or you know what I mean? I think it has to be somebody that can get strikeouts already. But I think it will. It's possible that shadow stuff can boost them. All right, next game on the docket, 6:40. So I think I saw both sides have this as like a 2-game slate before the main slate. Rangers and the Reyes. Kumar Rocker taking on Brady Singer. I think this is gonna be is this Rocker's second start already? So we don't really have to go too crazy on his no, it's not. Why do I feel like he's who am I thinking of? 12 innings in spring for Raka. 19 Ks. Three homers. 292 average, 192 whip. Now what you want? So a little bit of everything, huh? Wildness. 9 walks. He had 2 or more walks in his last 4 spring appearances. 14 hits. So he's all over the place. Dude, he's like the original Hunter Green from a couple years back, yeah. 25% K rate last year with the elevated whip. So I think we're playing, you're going to end up playing both sides of that. Brady Singer pitching, former Royal. 5 games for him, 15.2 innings, 17 Ks. That's good. 17 Ks in spring for Brady. A 0.63 ground out to air out ratio. Am I tripping or do I remember him being a ground baller pitcher? 45, 56. Yeah, he was a perennial ground ball pitcher. Didn't play like that in spring, but it could just be fun with short sample sizes. 93 pitches in that last outing. That's a good sign. 93 pitches in last spring game. So let's chop this up. This is probably legitimately a 4 corners with eyes on the offense first for me. It's a 9-run total first for now. Where do they got Kumar Rocker's strikeout prop starting at? But do they even have it? They do not. I think I'm gonna go Rangers, Reds. Then Singer, then Kumar Rocker. Leaning a little bit more into the offenses here. That part, that we might see a lot of runs early on in the day. I don't think these 2 games touch, but we're getting some offensive parks again. I guess the Reds have been there with the Giants. and kind of a mixed bag of results. But I think the Rangers team is better than the Giants. Corey Seager was not in the lineup yesterday. We'll see if there's something behind that. Brady Singer gave up 1.5 home run per nine to lefties last season. I think there's room for some regression on that, generally speaking. But it is Great American Ballpark. But typically a 49% ground ball rate and a 25% hard contact rate, it's not going to be the equivalent to 149. But this ballpark is so generous to lefty power that I wouldn't overthink that or over project for the regression to be today. We're just playing it, right? Rangers, Reds, Brady, Kumar. That's how I'm ranking that, and I'm getting every bit, every corner. Mets and the Marlins. Is the music too loud? No, right? It should be all right. Hopefully it's not too loud. We're gonna get old people complaining tomorrow. Hey, man. David Peterson taking a Cal Quantrill. Peterson in spring. 4 games. 15.2 innings, 12 Ks. 1.5 ground out to air out, 1 homer. Soto going oppo. Yeah, it should essentially be batting practice for him against a team like the Marlins, yeah. 0.89 whip. 1.5 ground out to air out ratio for him is really good. He's been a ground ball pitcher last couple years. I remember years back, my issue with him was power to righties, but it looks like last year he got away with it. But it didn't really see a drop in the other metrics. You know what I mean? Like the line drive rate went up, hard contact rate's the same, the ground ball rate depreciated. I feel like that 0.5 homer per nine for Peterson could be in trouble, but maybe not in Marlins Park, especially against righties, where Marlins Park gives up homers to righties 15% below average, so makes them safer. The K rate was 12 and 15, so maybe the ground ball rate and the ability to miss bats here and there makes him play. Matter of fact, let's probably go Mets and then David Peterson, yeah. And then Cal Quantrill, not likely to register any interest for being rostered. Typically a contact guy, 10 innings in spring, 7 Ks, 57 pitches in his last outing. 10 FE, 7 Ks, 57 pitches, last outing for Quantrill. The other stats are good. 188 average allowed, 0.8 whip, ground ball pitcher. Walks lefties at a high clip the last 2 seasons. That's not what you want. A lot of patient lefties in this Mets lineup to create the big inning. Juan Soto, Lindor, Nimmo, Jesse Wanka. So yeah, not interested in Quantrill. Give me Mets. I don't think I'm getting to Marlins in a vacuum, but it is a 2-game slate, so you probably broaden what you would take. Not everyone in the lineup on a 2-game slate is going to have 14 fantasy points like a big slate, right? So it can get you a hit and a stolen base. And then on this 2-game slate, you probably unlock, one hitter against your pitcher or something like that. But generally, though, give me Mets and Peterson. Then cherry pick as you might. Maybe a Derek Hill, Dane Myers for that surprise homer. Yeah. Soto will win MVP this year. If he stayed in the American League, you might have me. You joined a league with Shohei Ohtani. Maybe there's some voter fatigue. The National League is stacked when it comes to star power. Shohei, Mookie, Freddie, Bryce. I could really go on for a while. Dude, you just look at that National League West and kind of get lost. Ketel Marte, Corbin Carroll, you know what I mean? Like, it's... Soto... If Soto's going to win MVP, and this is, you know, Ohtani's not much on defense because he doesn't play defense, but Soto's going to have to literally be the best hitter and be that great at it. Last year, not only is Ohtani like your best hitter, homie was active on the bases too, right? Great OBP, stolen bases, run creation is crazy. So not hating on Soto, but you got it. The NL is all but spoken for. Yeah, right, Chronic? That team is just stupid. That team is just stupid. Pirates at the Rays. So something we saw yesterday with the Rays, and it was a little bit of a scare on the stream last night, was the potential for rain. The Rays don't play in Tropicana because of that hurricane damage. So they've been playing at Steinbrenner Field. And something we're just going to have to get used to this season is that Tampa Bay and pop-up storms are just a thing. And you either sweat it or whatever happens, happens. Sometimes it rains for 10 minutes. Now you go back out there. So that's just going to be a thorn in our side all year. And luckily for us yesterday, it didn't amount to anything. We were able to shove on Taj Bradley. But if you guys just look at colors on a projection site for upcoming game weather, just know you're often going to see potential rain in the area of Tampa Bay, right? It's just how it works. Drew Rasmussen taking on, Carmen Mlodzinski. There we go. Soto is the best discipline in the NL. Does he? Does he? But it's not, I mean, discipline means what? Full counts and walks. You don't really win MVP by drawing more walks than the other guy, but also, you know what I mean? I don't know. We're splitting hairs here because I do think Juan Soto is one of the greatest to ever do it. But the National League is tough. It's definitely not, I'm not out here to hate on him. 5.2 innings for Carmen Mlodzinski. Guys, I gotta pull up a YouTube video and hear this name pronounced.
We have a Major League debut with Carmen Mlodzinski coming out of
Mlodzinski?
Called up. How exciting!
Get the freak out of here!
Family.
Mlodzinski. There's no J. There's no J in there. Also, I've been doing this whole stream on the smaller version. Make it bigger. All right. Anyway, Carmen Mlodzinski. 4 games in spring, 64 pitches his last outing, 7 Ks, 5.2 overall, or for the month of March. Yeah. .64 pitches. .2 innings, 7 Ks, 7 Ks. 3 walks. So 141 whip. A little bit of a walk issue, but we're not going to harp on the walks too much. Inversely, Drew Rasmussen. 3 starts. 74 pitches his last outing. Nine Ks, 10 innings, 2 walks, pretty average. Going into last season and the year prior, 30 and a 26% overall K rate, the whip pristine, the barrel rate, literally nothing last season. Facing a Pirates team that is gonna paper cut you when they do well. But they don't really have something to pick on specifically for Rasmussen. So I'm going to go Drew Rasmussen in the interest rankings. Then I think I go Rays. And then if you had to go Carmen Mlodzinski. I'm not going to do it. But you could. Walks not what you want in DFS. He was talking about the MVP. What up, Check? I'm just saying Soto's great with his discipline at the plate. Yeah, he is. That's never in doubt. I'm just saying. I don't know the last time I can't remember the last time baseball was this freaking talented when it came to a few guys. Guys, in the third inning of today's Yankee game against the Brewers, the Yankees had 2 outs, nobody on base. They intentionally walked Aaron Judge. And that's when Jazz Chisholm homered. They're intentionally walking a guy in the third inning of the third game of the season in a situation where there's already 2 outs and nobody on. That's a microcosm of how talented baseball is right now. Like, we haven't seen stuff like that since old Barry. Mike Soroka on the bump today. He's got 4 spring games to his name. 92 pitches, 93 in the last 2. Soroka. Over 90 pitches last 2 spring games. 13 Ks, 15.2 innings, a 1.6 whip. Not what you want. 1.6 whip. 13 Ks. 2 homers happened in the same game. 14 hits and 11 walks. Holy crap. He had 10 walks in the last 2 games. Little bit of a walk problem. How do I notate that? 4 and 6 walks in the last 2 games. Not what you want. Not what you want. Blue Jays don't strike out that much. I mean, this is just not a spot for Mike Soroka being rostered. Francis, on the other hand. 4, 5. 5 games, 13.1 to 16 Ks. 5 games for Francis in spring. We say 13.1, 16 Ks. That's what you want. 195 whip, not what you want. 328 average allowed, not what you want. Fly ball pitcher. Homer in every game of spring training. Every single one. 2 or more walks in 3 of the last 4 appearances. Big whip problem in spring. Homer allowed every game. Walk issues too. So the Nationals don't strike a lot of fear and a lot of hearts, but I did get a chance to watch a lot of them take some at bats the last 2 days, and even against Aaron Nola, they were kind of working. So this is kind of a scary spot for Francis. But first and foremost, rest in peace, Uncle Phil. Secondly, we're going to go ahead and introduce the Blue Jays into the top of the interest ranking of this game. I don't think I'm taking shots on either one of these pitchers. And then maybe some Nats. We'll go Substack on the Nats because the Nats do fall off a cliff. But we saw Josh Bell and Nate Lowe hit bombs yesterday. So that's where we would end up on Substacks. I can't see myself going 4-man here, but yeah. When you have a batter that can draw walks over how good they are, it's monumental. Yeah. Bro, you lost some Soto, huh? Hey, man. Let him be great. God dang it, Chronic. Let him be great. Take those walks. Stay away from the Nats. I wouldn't full stack them, but I could sprinkle some one-offs. I will say this: my top lineup yesterday, I made some decent change yesterday. But CJ Abrams, man, do something for me at the top of that lineup. But yeah, I wish they profiled more as a strikeout team, and I would maybe take a couple stabs at Francis. Right now, I'm not gonna. And the whip problem was a problem, so yeah, I'll just leave it at that. Freaking Mets. It's okay. When Soto starts hitting bombs and doing everything else he does, you can come back and Chronic's from Detroit. Juan Soto might have a higher WAR than that whole team combined last season. So, let him draw walks, god dang it. Tyler the Anderson's got tickets to the game. Taking on Miles Michaelis. How'd they get tickets? 4 games for him in March. 15 innings, 11 strikeouts, 74 pitches last game. 4 spring games, 70 plus pitches last outing. 15 and 11, 11 Ks. Tyler's usually just a contact guy, right? The fly ball rate's up. 3 homers. A 165 whip. He allowed a 300 average in the month of March. High average allowed. Also, he throws with his left hand, and I guess in years past that would have been running to the Cardinals, right? The Tyler O'Neills, the Arenados. That's a little bit more dampened, but I can't see myself pitching Tyler Anderson. Miles Michaelis. Four games, 86 pitches last outing, $1.25 on the whip. Ground ball rate's high, that's what you want. 4 walks in 17 innings. All right. 17.2 innings. 11 Ks. 125 whip. Usually not going to wow you with strikeouts. And a decent enough ground ball rate to kind of stifle things. And that's kind of what we've been seeing in the last couple games. Busch Stadium already plays pretty pitcher friendly, and we see the Cardinals over the last couple years lean on average pitchers that can eat innings and get bailed out by the ballpark. Looking at Miles Michaelis, looking at Steven Matz, guys like that. So maybe he does just enough to not matter as a DFS pitcher, and then maybe the Angels can stop being everyone's favorite stack, like we saw in almost every game of the freaking Chicago series. It felt like. I think I'm gonna go Cardinals. I'll go Angels Substack. Trout's got to do one eventually, right? And then I can't see myself getting to either pitcher. Not even if there's a fire. Oh, I drink all my Ghost. Recycled bit. Hey, man. Wait until there's somebody with the initials Cat in baseball, bro. It's gonna go crazy over here. Those who know. What's up, Travis? Hope you're doing all right. They don't pay over $300 million for a bum. You better hope not. There's a couple teams that do. Matter of fact, we're talking about one of them. Man, Angels have made some rough investments over the years. What is the run total for this one? 8.5. Run of the mill. Everything's about 8.5. There's nothing crazy, right? Yeah. Nothing crazy. So we're going to move on. The Soto special. Hey, man, if there's any team to do it, it'll be the Mets, man. I'm just saying, Soto's got no more incentive. Soto's already got World Series rings. And he's been paid. This is the long haul contract. If he turns into Robbie Cano in the Mariners in the next couple seasons, hey, man. At least he drew some walks. I'm just kidding, bro. Hopefully it works out for you. Me personally, I'm glad all the GOATs are in the National League so the Yankees can focus on beating Kerry Carpenter, and I'm going back on Chronic's team. Nah, the AL East is pretty fire too. The Red Sox were expected to be a little bit more popping, but it's only one series. They'll get there, right? It's just a bit right now to bring up Soto with you right now. Jordan Hicks taking on Ronel Blanco. Giants at the Astros. Let's go pull up Hicksy. Hicksy. 4 starts for Hicks in spring. Got up to 63 pitches. Essentially 3 times. 16 innings, 8 Ks. $60 to 63 pitches in 3 of last 4 outings. 109 innings last year, 20% K rate. Oof. What happened to his strikeouts, man? Is it just because he became a starter? Those bullpen numbers kind of diminished like that? Blanco. Four spring games, 67, 68. Those last 2. As far as pitch counts, 11 Ks and 9.1. You like that? 9.1 innings in March, spring, 11 Ks. Is this mirror on the wall? Three walks in his last outing, 5. So he's got a 2 whip, a 350 average. in those small numbers. Average allowed and walk issues in spring. Short sample. Digging into last year, high swing and strike rate. Walk issue was a thing there. It's always been a thing for Blanco. Giants do strike out a lot, but they do have kind of like an average plus walk rate. Like, essentially everyone's at a 9% walk rate. So there's like chip in a chair territory. That 9K kind of fails if they stretch out his pitch count early on by just drawing walks. And then not really interested in pitching against the Astros. So give me Astros offense. We'll go Giants sub stack. I get the case for Blanco and just trying to chase strikeout upside. It's kind of similar to what we were saying a couple games back about Rocker. Like he's effectively wild, as sometimes they call him. Like, you're gonna have some games where that works out. I think right now I'm gonna chill on all that, but something probably gives there, right? How do you have a 109 whip last year with a 10% walk rate? I'll tell you how. By allowing less than a 200 average. That's insane. What was Blanco's BABIP last season? A 207 to lefties, 234 to righties. So yesterday we were talking about predicting a pitcher's luck or accepting that a pitcher got lucky. Looks like last year Blanco was a little bit on the lucky side. A 4 expected ERA, 4.17 Sierra, but a sub-3 ERA. So the results were good, but the process says that he was lucky. All right, Astros Giants. I understand if you want to take a shot at Blanco. I don't think I'm going to put it on the list this early out. Yeah. Mets, Yankees, Subway Series. Yankees won the last Subway Series 4-1. Can you name who closed the game for the only Mets victory that series? For the Mets, 1 win. Who closed the game? Mets. Was it David Cone? No, right? I think he was on. No, that was in 2000, yeah. Wait, was it David Cone? David Cone in 2003. No, it wasn't David Cone. You got me. You got me with this baseball history. Let me know as we move on. LeBron James. Padres hosting the Guardians. It was Doc. Was he on acid? Kyle Hart versus Luis L. Ortiz. I was expecting like a trick answer. You know what I mean? Like Darryl Strawberry hit the walk-off. You know, somebody that was on both teams. Curtis Granderson. Ortiz in spring, 17.1 innings, 14 Ks. Uh, 80 pitches essentially in his last 2 outings. Dude, I mean, we're talking 80 pitches, 1 strikeout. 80 pitches, 2 strikeouts. That's not what you want. Like, I know he got 14 Ks. Oh no, it was 17.1. But that must have been really top heavy. Yeah, 5 Ks and 2.2 against San Diego. 173 whip, 164 ground out to air out. Spring for Ortiz. High whip. High ground ball. Last year, home run problem, the lefties. Maybe Jake gets one in the Crone zone. Jackson Merrill. Not really anything to chase Ortiz for strikeout potential. And then Kyle Hart. The best there is, the best there was. And the best that there ever will be. 7 Ks and 7.2. For Hart in spring. And we saw 69 pitches. Dude. Small sample size. 157 whip. 3 homers. We need to figure out who the freak is Kyle Hart. He hasn't pitched in the majors since 2020. How old is Mr. Hart? 32? Where's he been? We got to find an article now. I forgot what we're dealing with. Kyle Hart, Padres. Baseball Reference. Looks like he's been in AAA. Lehigh Valley, Tacoma. He's been in the PCL. 88 innings. Or let's go with last year. 157 innings last year. $182 strikeouts. That's in the KBO though. No offense to the KBO. But Dan Straley was Max Scherzer over there. A 10.4 K per nine. But it's not like he was like a 5 K per nine, right? So 8.7. So I don't know. We move all this to the majors. We might expect him to be a 6 to a 7 off rip if we just got to put a random number in a projection model. How about homers? 11 homers in 157 innings. So usually like 1 for 10 is like the average for me. So if more or less. But again, the KBL. So we go to 10 and 89 innings the year prior. It's a little bit more likely to be what we might expect here. 6 and 44. So it looks like he does have like a little bit of a home run issue, and that's something we saw in spring. This is a tough park for lefties to hit it out. What is the total and spread on this one? An 8. It's pretty low. I mean, yuck on both pitchers, but the park we've kind of seen be rough. But I'm gonna go Padres and Guardians. Not really seeing a need to get to either pitcher. And if the total's enough to scare you off, you know, you could sub-stack it. Makes a lot of sense. But also maybe people just don't go there because they don't know what to expect. And it looks like you can get some bombs off them. Keep an eye on Jose Ramirez. Might be injured. Other than that, man, against lefties for a long time, he's been a problem. So this is a fun lineup against lefties. Moving on. Chronics Tigers taking on the Mariners. Jackson Jobe. Like an Herbie Hancock. John Hancock. It's Herbie. Ooh, 14.1 innings in March for Jackson. 12 Ks. 12 Ks in March for Jackson. A sub 1 whip, 180 average allowed. 4 homers, not what you want. But the strikeouts, the whip has been good. He's just giving up some homers. Sub 1 whip, sub 200 average allowed. High home run. Kind of reminds me of let's say old Max. Let's go look at Mr. Jackson Job. Stuff Plus. I guess they don't really have that tabulated for it looks pretty average for the most part. Like slightly above in some departments. So let's go to Jackson Job. Baseball reference. Not a whole lot to go off of. We got Yankee fans, but I'm from Queens. That's the god damn, yo. Dude, you're like on a timer right now, dude. Every 10 minutes, post something Mets related. If you don't, how will they know? I ain't mad at you. There's definitely a large representation of Yankee fans in the industry. That's what we do. Man. What do we do with Jackson Job? Jackson Job. Let's see if we can find an article. He pitched in the playoffs before he pitched in the rotation as one of the top prospects in baseball, said AJ Hinch. If that doesn't describe baseball in a nutshell. Cool. Number 5 prospect overall. Number 2 pitching prospect. Will take the mound as a different pitcher than the one who faced the Astros and Guardians in smaller doses last October. He has widened his repertoire with a tumbling curveball designed to play off his fastball and draw more swinging strikes. Add that to his upper 90s fastball, sinker, cutter, changeup, and sweeper. God dang. He has half a dozen pitches to throw at the Mariner hitters depending on the situation. I feel like the physical stuff is all there. Now it's just kind of mentally dialing in what I'm trying to do with each pitch. All right. So he has a great repertoire. That's for sure. The Mariners sure do strike out. I'll tell you what. What was the velo on Joby's average? I guess we didn't. $90, 97 average velocity. All right, Vegas. What are we doing with Jackson Job? Nothing. They didn't give us a line for Jackson. I'll refresh it. See if There's a lot of strikeouts in this Mariners lineup. I'm interested. I'm buying in. We'll look at some more film tomorrow. I'm in there. Actually, what's the how many pitches? 68. So we might get 80. 68, 67. Last outing. All right. Emerson Hancock. It's Herbie. 12 innings in March, 12 strikeouts, 1-3 ground out to air out, 1-6 whip, 300 plus average allowed with 1 homer. Unremarkable. 66 pitches. High whip, average allowed, K per inning. But that K per inning might be a little lucky. 12 and 12. Looking at last 2 years, really just last year, since there's only 12 innings in 2023. 15% K rate, sub 10% swing and strike rate. Give me a contact guy. It's the freaking Tigers, man. I'm right. I'm gonna just go Job for now. Maybe he gets the road jitters in his actual debut. But heck, if you don't pitch in the playoffs, what you worried about, right? I just look at this Mariners team just long term. Maybe I'm a little too married to history. It just feels like there's some stack potential one of these days, right? Robles, J-Rod, Raleigh, Rosarena, Luke Raleigh, Polanco, Rowdy, Tellez. They sure strike out a lot. I think I'd just be a sucker for Mariners here and there. I'm gonna put Job in the Mariners, but this is more like they gotta break out one of these days. But give me Job, give me Mariners. Tigers look so bad. I bet Kerry Carpenter looks good in the bomb detector without even looking. Yep, he is top 7, and that's every game on the slate. Carry on my 62% fastball last year for Emerson. Carpenter smacks that. Plus against all of his pitches. Yeah. That's the Tiger to look for if you want to get to a Tiger. Carpenter's looking like the problem. What up, Power? I'm from Buffalo. The Yanks are my MLB team. Yeah. Honestly, Unique. This is not revisionist history. Clearly, Yankee fans fell in love with Juan Soto. Wanted to keep him. But now that I'm kind of removed from the situation and seeing what Cashman did to the team with the money that would have went to Soto, I feel like the Yankees are better and more balanced without Soto. So as much as I love him for what he did for us in the playoffs or whatever, also kind of worked out, I think, to spread out. You know, picking up Fried, getting Devin Williams, Cody Bellinger, Goldie to an extent, but I think Goldie's just like a stopgap for now, until something better comes along or is developed, like Ben Rice, who homered yesterday. But so I'm cool with Soto not being on the squad, man. He is what he is. Ben Brown taking on Joey Estes. Let's go pull up. This is your MLB TV free game of the day. Ben Brown, with the most boring name in the history of names. 3 games in March, 11 Ks in 10.1 innings. .75 pitches the last outing. Only 1 homer. The whip is crazy. The average allowed is crazy. And it's really just the average allowed. I guess the walk. He's only had 1 walk in 2 games. Or 2 walks in 3 games. I want to see that come down. if you're Benjamin Brown. Oh, also something to note about this game, Athletics. This will be their home opener. It's Sutter Health Park. This is a minor league stadium. Obviously they moved on from Oakland Coliseum. So Oakland Coliseum was a big foul territory, which created more strikeouts. It was a pitcher park. I don't truly have a read on how this park should play, but I feel like it can't be worse offensively than Oakland. I just put it as neutral all the way across the board, and then kind of let it go from there. Like, at least with the Steinbrenner Field, I know the dimensions are to mimic Yankee Stadium, so I could just kind of mimic the park factors. So in a way, it's a boost versus the Coliseum, but I also don't know how much of a boost. With that said, the Cubs look good. Joey Estes. Wait, let me get back to putting a pitch count on Ben Brown. 75 pitches last game for Brown. Looking at last year's numbers, almost 11% barrel rate for Brown. Good swing and strike rate, good strikeout potential. I guess this is kind of a spin the wheel, make a deal play. If you think the Athletics suck, I don't really know that I fully believe that. He does have some upside at that price on both sides, especially DraftKings, a little SB2 action. So I think we could go both sides. I would assume the Cubs are the betting favorites. Minus 115. That is lopsided as I thought it should be. Or no. Yeah, it is. I'm dumb. They're minus 130, which still not super crazy, but better than minus 115. I'm gonna go Cubs offense. Ben Brown. And then with Joey Estes, last year 127 innings, less than 17% K rate, almost a 10% barrel rate, less than a 10% swing and strike rate, and a 167 home run per 9 to lefties, a 55% fly ball rate, a 55% hard contact rate. Hey, babe, wake up. Kyle Tucker has a nut matchup tomorrow. 6K for Kyle Tucker. He's the poster boy of the thumbnail, by the way. 4,200 on Fanduel. It's looking like a really, really good matchup for him. Estes in spring. 4 games, 14.2 innings pitched, 9 strikeouts, 2 bombs. That was actually in the first game of March. But a 338 average allowed, a 162 whip. More so just by letting up a lot of hits. So not a big strikeout guy. Did throw 80 pitches. 80 pitches last spring start. I don't see a reason to play him for DFS. So Cubs, some Browns. I'm going to go Athletics Substack for now. Because I want to hang from a chandelier. Less than 3K for Shea Langoliers on FanDuel. That's interesting. We only got 1 game left. Wow. I went through this much faster than I thought for how big the slate was. So let's take a pause for the cause. If you guys want ever throughout the week, you can't listen to me blabber for 1, 2, 3 hours. You just go get the notes, go get the spreadsheet. MLBgrind.com. That's the portal, man. Sign up. Grab yourself a premium membership. We got week, month, and season pass up right now. Once you do upgrade, click members portal. There's going to be a link to the spreadsheet and a link to the premium Discord. We've had some fun conversations in the premium Discord. It don't matter your skill level, your history, experience with MLB DFS. I don't care if this is your first week or it's been 5 years. Any question is welcome, and any input, any advice, and whatever you guys want as far as coverage goes, I'm all ears. Because it's really a passion project, and having the paywall just kind of makes it worthwhile, right? So if you guys want to support the stream, support the site, and get a little bit in return, go to MLBgrind.com, sign up, get in the Discord. I want to see you in the Discord. And then I've been hand tuning pitcher fantasy projections every day. And then hopefully by the end of this week, we'll have an automated formula that will be able to put out hitter projections a little bit better. I have the beta already coded, but there's just some small bugs that I have to iron out with players, such as the fancy lettering on the names, and then some players in the sample size things. But I have a solution for all that. It's just a matter of finding time to get it going. So look out for that. The bomb detector was so good yesterday, y'all. So good. I'll go pull it up. I posted a screenshot on Twitter. I forgot what my Twitter was for a second. But halfway through yesterday's slate, Judge homered, Ben Rice homered, Brandon Lau homered, Jazz Chisholm homered, Heliot Ramos homered, Michael Toglia hit a double. It was gravy training if you just started plucking names from the top of the bomb detector. Which my boy Damron, to put it on, to go back to, I don't care what your skill level is. I'll brag on Damron for a second. Damron, I think he entered 3 $1 lineups on Fanduel. You put a screenshot in here. I don't know what contests these are. I don't know if these are like 100-man leagues or if this was a single entry. I don't know. I don't know. But $1 into $75, that's ROI. $1 into $4, that's 4x. $1 into $30, I'll take that. And literally he said, and I'm not saying this is going to win you money every day, but he said, I'll keep scrolling. Here we go. I just take the best per dollar projected pitcher and stack teams high in the bomb detector. I've won every day this season so far. It's simple as that. That's kind of the goal here, is to make the spreadsheet. I don't want to. I'm not trying to give you the answers to the tests. I'm not trying to tell you who to play. I just tell you how to research and make a spreadsheet that makes it a lot easier for you to research in a crunch and expedite the entire process. So if any of that sounds good, MLBgrind.com. Get signed up. Love to have you for the week. Unique, you're trolling me, right? How is Soto not the guy tomorrow, hitting in front and behind him for the Mets? I don't. Soto's in a. Guys like Soto, Trout, Judge, Shohei, we don't need to stop and talk about playing them for DFS, bro. They're just that guy, right? Against Quantrill, against lefties, a 1+ home run per 9, high line drive rate. Yeah, it's a good spot for Soto. But that game's not likely to be on, or that game's not on the main slate. So if you are gonna play that, I believe it's a 2-game sub slate, and probably has pretty diminished prize pools because of it just being a 2-gamer before the main course, you know. Braves at the Dodgers. Braves are off to a rough start. Grant Holmes taking on Tyler Glass now. Let's go look at Mr. Grant. Sounds like a basketball name. You're in the wrong sport. You look like a baseball player, though, so I take that back. 10.1 innings in March, 8 Ks, 93 pitches. Not going to waste too much, but 93 pitches last outing. A little bit of a walk problem. A little bit. Kept the average really good. Low average allowed. Some walks. But it's the Dodgers, right? Are we rolling out of bed to roster Grant Holmes against the Dodgers? Probably not. But he's pretty cheap on both sides if you got that feeling in your bad knee with the storm coming in. Tyler Glass now on the other side. 73 pitches in his last spring outing. 17 strikeouts in 10 innings. That's pretty good. Last 10 innings in spring. 71 Ks through 73 pitches last outing. So normally I'm not quick to pitch against the Braves, but right now the Braves are kind of looking rough, and they got some leaks. And Tyler Glasnow, when we talk about rostering pitchers in DFS, a lot of times I like the check boxes where the matchup's good and the pitcher's good. But then you break this tier. It's like a S tier of pitchers where the matchup be darned. You know what I mean? Like, that pitcher's just that guy. Glasnow is one of those type of pitchers where the matchup almost doesn't matter. And it doesn't hurt that right now the Braves are kind of limping into this series. So Glasnow at the top of the chart for me in interest. And then Dodgers offense. The weakness for Glasnow, I guess looking back at last year, a little bit of homer problems to lefties, but Matt Olson, you know what I mean? The list gets really low really fast, so I think that's where I'm at. Glasnow and Dodgers as far as my interest goes. No activity. No, I know. I'm just kidding. Yeah, if we keep doing these night streams, I don't expect the chat to be popping, but I also think it's probably where we belong, because I'm just literally researching out loud, man. And hopefully it's helping some people in their daily grind. That is all the games on Monday, y'all. If you've got any questions, comments, concerns, let me know in chat. If you're watching and you got some questions, comments, concerns, leave them in the comments below. Remember, any engagement with the videos, greatly appreciated as we try to restir and force our way back into the good graces of the YouTube algorithm, and also earn the monetization enablement back. And in order to get that, we have to accrue 3,000 hours of watch time, which at my loose calculations, we get like 100 a day. So maybe 2 months. Yeah. Or the Mets. Yeah, the Mets are playing tomorrow, but they're not on the main slate. Let's take a quick look at some of these pitching prop lines. See if there's anything that stands out based on early research. Paddock's at 5.5. There's some juice on the over on Paddock there against a team that sucks. That's kind of interesting. Some juice. I guess juice ain't the right word, but a little extra cheese on the taco. Chris Sanchez is moving 6.5. No crazy numbers though. What was Glasnow's here? Glasnow's at 6.5 with right now minus 130 on the over, so it's looking like Glasnow. Usually you can look at strikeout props and at the night before and just kind of pull the chalk from that, because a lot of projection models are based off of the prop market, and I think Glasnow easily has the highest. Like, he's got like a 2 strikeout lead on the rest of the slate for the 6 p.m. games, so that's likely to be your highest owned player. And the Dodgers are minus 218 favorites. Yeah, GG's, man. Go next. Grind never stops. Yeah, it'll run it back up, but baseball was always kind of dead. Like I said, this is all a passion project to me. I do it because I love it. Speaking of which, I'm probably gonna go play some baseball on Twitch if anyone wants to come talk some more baseball. Otherwise, oh man, you're cracking me up, dude. Is Soto a player being hated on just that good? You're too funny. Hey, twitter.com/Gundecker. I'm out of here. Probably back tomorrow night. A lot of bigger slates for the first couple days. I think when we looked last night, it looked like the only small slate day was going to be Thursday, so we're probably going to be running nightly shows for at least until probably for the whole week. Stick with me on trying to get a concrete time. I'm thinking maybe 10:30 p.m. Central is the ultimate goal, but we'll work up to it. I appreciate you guys. I love you guys. I hope you guys have a great day. Good luck. God bless. Go win some money.